Popular control. You can still, you know, it's basically still Miracles. It's the, Matt's playing the, well, Topless Miracles deck.
Yep, Entreat the Angels in effect here. No, there's 3 Monastery Mentor in the 75, but they're all on the sideboard.
Turn 2, Knight of the Reliquary off Deathrite Shaman for Todd. You know, you're right, this is pretty similar to the modern deck. Force of Will will take care of that one. Pitching Counterspell.
That's kind of a win for Todd. Whenever you can get them to force just a creature that doesn't do very much, you know, it suggests there's no Swords to Plowshares, not able to set up a Terminus or anything.
We'll see what Todd's setting up for. He's got a Chandra Torch of Defiance in his hand, so he may just be trying to tap out for kind of these really meaty threats that you don't always see in Legacy. It's going to be Life from the Loam from Todd. And this is something, we see this out of Todd Stevens a lot, these playing of like Loam and Azusa effects in fair decks. He's one of the, that's a real Todd Stevens type of play.
Yeah. Land drop for the turn was Cabal Pit.
Okay.
This one you don't see too much anymore. Land from Odyssey.
This is the same one as Barbarian Ring and Cephalid Coliseum.
Right.
It's that same cycle.
They tap for their respective colors of mana. This one taps for black, does the damage to you, and then if you have Threshold, you can pay a black, tap and sacrifice it to give a creature -2/-2 till end of turn.
Now Matt's got a big play here. It's a copy of Back to Basics. I won him out of the sideboard. Now Todd, I believe, has an answer to it in his Abrupt Decay.
Yep, won't be able to Force Will that one.
It just says go. I believe that's what he has. And yeah, end step. We will see Abrupt Decay on the Back to Basics from Todd. The timing there was somewhat neat. He waited a turn on it.
Yeah, he stopped Matt from untapping the Tundra that turn.
Okay, that took Matt off of Jace.
Yep.
I like that play from Todd. Dredges Life from the Loam. He puts 2 more lands in his yard. Now there's some tension as to whether or not he wants to use the lands for Loam or to Deathrite Shaman.
Yep.
Looks like he'll go ahead and tap 4 here and try for Chandra Torch of Defiance. And Matt is ready with a counter spell.
And I like he exiled his fetch land, but he kept Wasteland in the graveyard. That one you can actually convert into something more meaningful.
And I'd be like, that's a read where you kind of expect Matt to have the counter spell. He'd already pitched one to Force of Will. And then left up just blue on turn 2.
Yeah, the early Force of Will suggested that the hand was certainly removal light, possibly counter heavy.
Now we see an attempt of Todd to make Chalice of the Void for 1.
He's also leaving up Deathrite Shaman with the black activation, so you can't Snapcaster Mage counter spell here.
Yeah, it looks like Matt's just going to hard cast a Force of Will to keep the Chalice off the board. But what I like about Todd is he played Knight of the Reliquary, Chandra, Chalice of the Void. He's forcing Matt to have hard counters at multiple points here.
Yep. Yeah, that's the angle that his deck's going to go for in this matchup.
Then starts casting Life from the Loam, getting Wasteland and Verdant Catacomb. Attacks in for 1. Can Wasteland down Matt some. Matt only actually has 1 non-basic land.
Yeah, he plays a lot of non-basics in his deck. And then Stevens, he's loaming back, you know, the fetch lands, their mana sources, but there's not really a big mana payoff in the deck.
Matt draws Miracles a Terminus to start the turn, puts Deathrite Shaman on the bottom. Now he's going to main phase a Brainstorm. He knows about a Wasteland in Todd's hands, figures that Tundra might go away.
Yeah, and for that reason, it's a little bit curious that he did not use the Tundra for either of those spells.
Kept Snapcaster Mage off the Brainstorm. Wasteland will hit Tundra. And then Green Sun's Zenith for Todd Stevens for 3. I'd like to see a Knight of the Reliquary off this.
He's also playing a copy of Leovold. That one could be really powerful here.
Ooh, that might be better, and you're right, he is going to go for Leovold. Now a Jace, I think, drawn for Matt.
Jace does not match up great against Leovold.
Well, you can. I mean, you still might make the play of Jace bounce Leovold if you have it. Yeah, it gives Todd some extra cards for sure. But he's got to start somewhere, and he's going to use Jace and actually scry 1 with Jace to put a card on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, Terminus is going to be the cleanest answer to Leovold, so if he can get that to the top of his deck. He also has a copy of Supreme Verdict.
There is a Punishing Fire in Todd's hand, though, so between that Punishing Fire and the Leovold, he can cleanly answer the Jace. That's a big wing for Todd. I think Matt was hoping to untap with a 2-loyalty Jace that turn.
We see cycling of Tranquil Thicket, and Todd's going to dredge Life from the Loam.
He's really got his eyes on the late game for this play.
I gotta say, though, I think his draw steps are better than Life from the Loam here. Because he doesn't have any kind of big mana payoff, and Matt just has 4 basic lands, getting back Wasteland's not huge.
Yeah. It looks like he wanted to make his land drop. He already had his land drop. He wanted to just make Life from the Loam again.
You do get to keep rebuying the Tranquil Thicket, so you get draw step plus Life from the Loam, so that's fine. This deck does play 3 copies of Liliana of the Veil, so if you do get that going with some extra cards in hand, that is meaningful.
I don't think he's going to ultimate it. I'd be.
Right.
That's what we're looking for that. A go for Todd. End step, Matt's going to unexpectedly absent the Leovold. Todd will draw. He draws another Life from the Loam off the top. How many? Now I ask, how many Life from the Loams is Todd playing? I didn't expect a second one. He does have 2. Both in the main.
That's a very Todd Stevens deck building decision.
Plays Wasteland and says go. Looks like he just wants to draw that Leovold again, so he's avoiding shuffling his deck until he does. Ponder from Matt. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in Game 3 between Todd Stevens and Matt Kuranda. Todd, the #1 points player here in Season 2 on the SCG Tour. Both players are at 5 wins and 1 loss right now.
And Matt pondered kept, but goes for a fetch land right away. Must have found a good one.
Now we'll say go. We go back over to Todd Stevens, draws Dark Confidant. Life from the Loam, then from Todd.
Two lands back, Forest, Tranquil Thicket.
The Cycle Thicket, and this time looks like he's not going to dredge off it. He's going to go for the natural draw. He's debating.
Yeah, the thing he's missing is Grove of the Burn Willows to go with Punishing Fire, though it's not very significant in this matchup.
I think he was just remembering his card count. It looks like that cycle hit Leovold. Just double checking that yes, that top card would be.
Yeah, and Leovold just turns off a lot of the potential action from a blue-white control deck.
Sure. And he'll shoot off a Punishing Fire at Matt on end step. Two lands for the turn, courtesy of Dark Confidant. He'll attack in for 2, send Matt down to 11.
Yeah, revealed the fetch, but did draw Grove of the Burn Willows, so now he'll be able to start looping Punishing Fires.
He's going to go for Leovold, and now Matt does have a reply. It's going to be Snapcaster Mage Counterspell. He wants to make sure that one doesn't resolve. But Grove of the Burn Willows in play for Todd. There aren't any wastelands in Matt's deck, so we can't get rid of this Grove Punishing Fire interaction.
Yep.
There were also, I guess there are 2 copies of Surgical Extraction that are possible from Matt's deck. I wonder if he'd lost a game to this Life from the Loam Punishing Fire strategy from Todd, he may have boarded them in.
It's possible. Though it is a little bit tough to find a window for that.
Yeah, if Todd plays it smart, it's that Tranquil Thicket with the Loam, and then the Grove with the Punishing Fire should protect him from possible.
Yep. What Matt would love to do is find and entreat the Angels to Miracle, because that's worth a lot of damage, and it's really hard to Punishing Fire through Angels.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. he's going to hope to turn the corner. And he does have a copy of Jace the Mind Sculptor here, so if he finds one, he can just set up the miracle play.
Yeah.
Brainstorm from Matt. 3 more. There is a white card. I believe it's Monastery Mentor, however.
That one's quite a bit less good than Entreat.
I mean, it really feels like, looking at his list here, Entreat is the only card that matters anymore. None of these other ones, I think, will get the job done.
Yep. Pretty convinced of that as well. And it is just 1 copy.
Todd goes to work, gets back Punishing Fire, shoots Matt, uses Cabal Pit to remove Snapcaster Mage.
I think Todd just missed a Dark Confidant trigger there.
He did. So we'll see what the judge wants to do here. This is an interesting one because the rules of this is technically a beneficial trigger. We'll see how the resolution happens. Looks like he just will not get the card. Swings and Matt's down to 7. Over the years, there have been a variety of fixes to that one. It's not, it's like, what's the judge going to do? Be like, we'll just wait until he makes the call.
Some of the fixes were pretty bad. The space we're in now, I think, is good, though.
Yeah, I agree. Matt down to 7 on that attack. 3 mana for Monastery Mentor. Ponder triggers Prowess. Todd was going to reach now for that Punishing Fire. 1 Monk token is enough. Matt's going to resolve the Ponder. Can he find an Entreat and leave it 1 deep? Council's Judgment.
That one's a lot worse than Entreat.
Second looks like Entreat, though, for a second.
It's true. They both have white cards. I guess Entreat has triple white in the actual casting cost.
You know, whenever I play Zek, what would happen is I would have drawn the Entreat right there,
right.
off the Ponder. I'm like too soon.
I guess next turn I get to not even make 1 angel because I have white 4 islands.
2 more cards up Todd sends him down to 8. To another Chalice of the Void. Get Chalice on 1 here. Maybe gets him a little more safety. That's what he's going to do. See if Matt responds. He'll respond with a Brainstorm. Can he set up that Entreat?
And that's the only card that matters.
Todd's hand is mostly lands. In response, Punishing Fire takes care of the Monk token. Doesn't want it prowessing up to a 3/3 possibly. Is there an Entreat? He's not windmill slamming it.
If he has something like Terminus or Supreme Verdict, he can get rid of these creatures next turn. Still has to solve the problem of losing to Punishing Fire,
Yeah,
though.
well, we're in turns now. So Todd is currently playing turn 0. Matt will have turns 1, 3, 5. He goes down to 5 on the attack. Todd's got to decide if he wants to commit another Dark Confidant.
That is scary. I would not.
I don't know. You can, unless he draws Entreat, you're not going to...
Well, he already just has the game locked up if he doesn't die, just using Punishing Fire or Grove.
I'm going to play it. I'm in. I'm in. There's no way. This card's great. Sign me up for as many as I can have.
He does not have the heart for 3 Dark Confidants.
And there's Entreat the Angels from Matt. Kuranda. All right. Makes 4 Angels. He does hit it. And now Todd's thinking.
Can't be happy to see that.
He knew it was coming at some point. This is the last turn that Matt could have found it. If he went down to 1, that Punishing Fire was going to kill him.
Yep.
And now this is interesting.
Now Todd's got some Dark Confidant triggers to deal with. But he doesn't have ways to clean up angel tokens. Just has to throw a lot of Punishing Fires at them.
And just remember, that is 4 angel tokens, not a 8/8 angel.
Right. Pretty different.
Lighting that to matter here, we're on turn 2 of turns. It's Todd's. We're going to see a lethal attack from Matt. Either Todd this turn or Matt next turn. Can Todd push 5 damage? He's got a Golgari Charm. He's got a Punishing Fire in hand and one in the graveyard.
Yeah, the spot he wanted Golgari Charm would have been against that back to basics.
He's so... There we go. He's so close to having Matt. He can put him to 2 with these Punishing Fires.
Yes, he can attack with Dark Confidence and use Punishing Fire to clean up the angels that are blocked, but that's just not enough. 2 of them are lethal. 2 of them are still lethal through Golgari Charm as well.
Yeah, he'll swing the 2 Dark Confidence.
You gotta hope that Matt just makes a bad block this turn.
Yeah. 1 in front of each. Yeah, he can shoot each of them down and then Golgari Charm, but he still ends up at taking exactly 6.
Yep.
If he has a Loam in his hand, he could get Cabal Pit back, perhaps?
I think he's just shy on mana for going that heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you said, hey, if he had, 20 mana, he could deal with this.
Yeah, if he had 20 mana and could make 3 or 4 land drops, then it might be a different story.
Yeah. But
Todd's checking it over, make sure he doesn't miss anything, but I believe he's dead.
He did, so it's Matt Kuranda. Blue-white control is going to take that one in turns. He defeats Todd Stevens 2 games to 1.